It's Mark Husson's Astrology Hour. Time for you to expect something wonderful.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Mark Husson, and this is Mark Husson's Astrology Hour coming to you live on August 11th, 2025. I'm going to get my camera hooked up. You guys don't worry. I want to scare you. Squint just for a minute because I'm coming through. There I am. Hey, hi everybody. How you doing? It's good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Like I said, it's Monday, October 11th. It's like 8 a.m. exactly Pacific time, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. How are you guys doing? My lighting is really weird, so I was playing with it before, but it'll go in and out. So we're just going to play with it and make it perfect eventually. But in the meantime, I get to say hi to you guys. Thank you so much for being in the room. If you're listening on 1-2 Radio, there is a way for you to come and visually fill your eyes up with intense beauty and then come over to youtube.com/@MHAstrology and you can join the live stream. So coming to the room, and I see Linny's in the house. Hi, Linny. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Hi, Laura. Terry Campbell's in the house. You guys are so funny. It always makes me smile. Thanks for coming so much. Gypsy's here. Gypsy Caravan. That is Karen, right? Good morning, Karen. Truly, thanks for coming. It's so nice that you were able to come here. I love that. I know. I love that you're in the house. Nadine, big hugs to you. Thank you so much for coming. Always so kind. You guys are so darn sweet. Thank you so much. Hi, Anne. Welcome to the house, to the room. Renee, thanks for coming. Happy Monday back at you. Hi, Arlene. Welcome. There's so many of you. I love this. Thank you so much for coming. Hi, Laura. Anne said, I love Monday mornings at 11 a.m. every week. I feel invaded when someone has to schedule something. That is so sweet. Thank you. I know that feeling. Thank you so much. Serena's in the house. Lovely Serena. How are you, honey? Mark, good morning. So glad I get to be here and catch you live. It's been crazy few weeks, but glad to see all your beautiful face. You're so sweet. Don't ever get your eyes fixed, though. And thanks. Serena is producing so many. Serena is making so much of this happen for many of you behind the scenes. Just an incredible force to deal with. A lovely person. She's an advisor at 1-2, brilliant psychic. Just all around. Serena, I'm in awe of how you're doing it. You're doing really good. Thank you so much. Hi, Pamela. Welcome. Thank you so much. Big hugs to you. Hi, Karen. Oh, no, Karen is Lapis. Karen, good morning. So I apologize for the one. It was... I think I misidentified you. But Karen, thanks for being here. Lapis and Lotus. Erica Longden's in the house. Erica, I love your show. Thank you so much for being the show before mine. It warms me up. I love hearing your voice. I love knowing you're out there. Erica's over in across the pond in the UK. I'm so glad to have you here. Gypsy, it was Gypsy who I was calling Karen. So Gypsy, hey, today is my son Donnie's 12th birthday. My little Leo, Tara. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Hi, Kelly. And so Tara, this is Tara. Okay, gotcha. She's from Cornwall, UK. Jennifer Hart. Jennifer, hey, you and Erica have to go have tea on us. Thank you for being here. Hi, Maureen. Woohoo! Goodbye, Mercury retrograde from this Libra with the Gemini rising Camus. Looking forward to win on the penny slots this week. Yeah, baby. I'll tell you what. I've hit more under the retrograde, just to tell you, and about the void of course moon. So we have a lot to talk about. We'll get into that. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this with me. I so love being here every week to connect with you. I'm going to get the chart. I guess, yeah, we can get the chart up here. I'll get the chart on the dual screen with me. Now, I didn't check. Let me make sure we can see the chart. Are you there? Hey, charty chart. Okay, yeah, the chart's here. So I'll bring us on a dual screen in a minute, but I wanted just to give you guys a visual of the chart. This is today's chart, and I know it looks like hieroglyphics, but in a way it is. But I can help you make it make sense. Just bear with me for a minute. So first of all, let's honor the Pisces moon right here. This is the Pisces moon at exactly 18 with the North Node in Pisces. So can we just have a minute to talk about that moon? That moon is about things from the past. Now, somebody posted, somebody posted, I wish I had it in front of me because I closed the screen, that they were watching Cinderella from the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. I'm not sure if it was the Whitney Houston one or the one before. I did the one before. I always do the one before. But I was singing the Impossible song. And I do that. I am so I'm such a happy gay singer at home because I do I sing and and it terrorizes every living being in these premises if you get my drift. And so there's a thing where I'm sort of like, it's impossible for a plain country bumpkin to become, all that. And so I'm like, and I was singing it, and such fal-de-rah and fiddly-dee of courses, and I'm singing it to Duncan because I was like, you are so small. How am I going to get you in this chair? So I sing a song. And that song. So somebody posted they've been listening to the Cinderella, Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. That's where the song comes from. That's Pisces, is my point. So it wasn't an excuse just to sing to you because I could get copyright infringement. This is perfect pitch, in case you didn't know what perfect pitch was. This is what you're listening to is perfect pitch. Now, so YouTube can get really upset with me if I do it for too long because I sound just like the original. So Pisces has that kind of magic to it. Now, the thing I wanted to show you, and I'm going to bring the chart up here in a minute again, but I'll do it with a split screen, is that moon is not making a connection with any other planet in the sky. And that means for the entire day today, it started yesterday, the entire day today, we're kind of free floating. Now, the thing about void of course moons that I didn't know was when they're really long like this, it can be pretty magical. Now, I know Terry Campbell's been saying that to me. She's been preaching that to me for a long time. And she doesn't preach, Terry, she's very kind and gentle, but she would always say well, they really are good. They can be really good. And so what I noticed is under the void of courses that when they're really long, I have a chance to find my sea legs. And also I break rules. So when I'm playing my games, when I'm gaming online, I end up doing really well when the moon is void. And I'm not making that a law. I'm just saying I learned something good can happen from it. Same thing happens with the Mercury retrograde for me always. I don't care. The Mercury retrograde for me will always be, I will never dread it because A, we're doing that to ourselves, and B, the there is so much good that comes during a retrograde, so much good that makes today, days like today, where Mercury has stopped moving, very possible. So let me see how y'all are doing real quick. Terry Campbell says, so funny. I was singing the Let's Hear It for Me from Funny Lady. Yeah, we're doing these old songs, right? From the musicals. You know, Funny Lady, Funny Girl is one that I'll put on a lot. Funny Lady, I do clips from, like with James Caan and you know, her now she's grown up kind of thing. And I was always so shocked. How can she smoke and have such a perfect voice? Like, why is she smoking on? And it's acting, right? So love that you've been singing. You sound just like the original. Lenny, you are so full. I love it. You are such a Scorpio. You are such a Scorpio, warm-hearted one. Thank you. I was going to say, you are so full of, ooh, no, don't say it. But thank you. That's very sweet. All right, you guys. So Pisces moon, we feel things, and it's very sensitive. It can be. And the thing about it is that I honestly think if we're not careful, we're feeling things that we're not aware of. We're feeling things that might belong to somebody else. Now, as a water sign with 7 planets in water, I have learned, and I mean it is a learned thing, that your mood and the way you feel can come from a gazillion different places. Okay, so there's a like I used to think and I've given this analogy a million times, so pardon me if you have heard it a million times. This is the 1,000,001st time you've heard it, but it's like a lake, a still piece of water, a body of water that doesn't move, and you're trying to sneak into it without making a ripple happen. Well, that's kind of how feelings work to me. But the ripple is the thought. A thought gets in there. And so I might wake up and think, I don't know, it could be anything. You're old, or you're fat, or what? I swear to you, it could be anything. And the ripple takes place. Now, if I'm astute enough to catch it, to watch it, to know, like, to track backwards, why am I feeling a little heavy today? Oh, you woke up calling yourself fat. Or you woke up saying, you know, thinking about your age, or whatever it is, or you know, a friend that, you know, I think I posted, Keith and Michelle lost their little baby. The picture behind me of the face of that woman is there it is Michelle, like the kind of work Michelle does. Michelle Green, she has it's Michelle Green. You can see her on Facebook. You'll see it because she's a friend of mine, and she does this insane art, like insane, with like gold stuff in it and pressed words and things like that. So, but they just lost their 9 years of being connected to their baby bird, a Marley, and it's been very devastating for them. It's been hard to watch because they're so connected to the bird, and so there's this, and now I got so stuck in that. I was like, okay, where's your point going? The point is, under these Pisces moons, we can feel things, and things get into layers, right? And so there is a way, and that's something that also, I wake up with that thought, like, oh my God, I could lose my baby, right? That's what made me think about it. I wake up and I could have a thought like, oh, I love these boys so much, and blah, blah, blah. And so that's a Scorpio thing too, right? Where you want to think of the worst case scenario, so it's not so scary when it actually happens. And so Pisces can be that way. And if you can find the trigger, if you can find the thing that started the moment, the motion that got you in there. Now, I'm a water sign, like I said. I've been trained to do this in my whole life because I had to figure out a way, like, what is this mood about? And I had to trigger it. But I had to like trace it backwards to find, and I got good at it. I really did. I got really good at finding what was the voice that started this whole thing. What's the thought? What was the worry? What was the thing right before you went to sleep that created that? And that's how delicate it feels sometimes. But if you don't have that propensity to look at the world in that emotional or feeling way, you might not even think that it came from a feeling. Like if you're an air sign, or a fire sign, a lot of the stuff from the heart chakra up is like where you live. And so the heart's where everything meets. So if you're up here all the time, you don't know that this thing down here, lower belly, was kind of brewing its way forward and that it got caught. And you don't know that. You're just like I've seen it in air and fire signs particularly, where it's just, I don't know. Like water signs don't know either. A lot of water signs have no clue where their feelings come from or what the mood was about. But you can tell it. You can see it. And if you can help somebody get to it, it's great. But for air and fire, you guys maybe don't even, you might think it's a thought, where it might be a thought reacting to a feeling, but you're so not looking at the world through a feeling place that you think it's a thought that may create it. And maybe, and it is, it's a thought that reacted to a feeling, perhaps. Now there is the thing about feelings reacting to thoughts, like what I just explained. The idea here, though, is to catch it, to see it, to see if you can see that balance. And if your chart is a propensity, like you might be a fire sign with a ton of water. So, you can figure it out that way. You can break down your chart by elements. You have 10 planets. They each are in a sign. Each sign has a particular elemental focus. And you can break your chart that way to see what are you mostly. Okay. And personal planets carry a little more weight than the outer ones. So we can figure all that out later. We'll actually do a little talk about it. But I wanted to emphasize that this Pisces moon has that, dumps us in the water. We're already in there. And if you're not aware of it, you might just think you're like I've been around some of the less awake, we all have some of the less aware people of what they're doing. And they're just being mean. They don't know that they're being mean. They don't think they're being mean. They're just being them. But it's a little harsher than normal, and it's really hard to get them to see it. It's really hard. It's hard for people to say, if somebody said to me, "Guy, you're in a mood," I'd be like, "Shut up. What is wrong with you?" I was like, I do the same defenses. It's just that I try to stay up on them because I know how it affects everything around me. I know that I'm not as good doing my daily recordings, my Mark Husson astrology moments, right? Those have to be done in a particular state of mind. You can't just do those. And you can see what I can see in myself. That particular state of mind is not as perky as this one or whatever. And I love that because it also reflects the state of the planets, where they might be that day. So let's start off with just a summary of Pisces moon might get you in the water. And you got to know that you're in the water in order to deal with it. That's all. Okay, start there. The other thing that's happening, and I'm going to see if I can do the bi-wheel here, and let me check on you guys. Anne said, I agree with you about the Mercury retrograde. I had a friend reach out who I have not heard from in 2 years, saw a young man who was in his 20s who I used to tutor when he was in the 5th grade. I love that. I love that. Hey, Janie, welcome. Thanks for being here. Funny you talk about breaking rules. I have seen clients finding out the rules don't always apply during the void of course. They get to be exceptions and leapfrog ahead. Yeah, see, Terry taught me that. Terry reminded me that, maybe the void of course moon unhooks you a little bit. I used to feel afloat and adrift, and I'm going to show you visually what the void of course looks like, but Nadine, well, that's a comforting explanation on why a Scorpio goes through the worst case scenario, so it won't be so bad when it happens. Pisces moon gets me so emotionally deep, always does it every cycle. Hi, Liz. Thanks, Nadine. I so hear you. Janie, thanks, Janie. So let's take a look visually, and we can, let me see. I broke this down into, there it is. Let's see if the cameras are all going to cooperate. Oh, they are. Thank you, little camera. All right. Now, so here I'm going to magnify the chart a little bit so we can see. This is where the moon is, and take note of this 18 degrees. That's 18 degrees. All right. I don't care what it means. Don't worry about what it means. What I'm doing is I'm going to look around the chart to see if anything else is close to 18. There's 27, but that planet doesn't count. That's Chiron. There's 1. That's Uranus. That's long gone. 13, 4. 19. Okay, 19 and 18. So that is called an inconjunct. Hold on. That's called an inconjunct. And it doesn't count because it's the major aspects that they look for with the moon going void, of course. So I'll explain that too in a minute. So nothing else. There's 19 and 18, but see, they're not connected. They're so far apart. Like this moon is Pisces, this is Leo. There's no elemental connection there. It's water and fire. Even though I would normally count, I would like to think of an inconjunct as a big aspect, but in traditional astrology, the void of course moon happens with major aspects of opposition, squares, or trines. Inconjuncts don't count. So what they're saying is now this moon, I know, don't worry about the words, you guys. Don't worry about the words. Dumb this down as much as you can in your own head. This moon is at 18, is not having a connection with any other planet. That's all it's saying, mathematically or otherwise, any of the major aspects. So it's not going to be touching anything until it changes sign and goes into Aries, when it then starts all over again, and it'll be next to Saturn, and then we'll go from there. So this is an all-day void of course moon. That's just the moon. That's our emotional body. That's how we put things together. That's what we need. The moon is the most aggressive of all the signs. Believe it or not, the moon being the lunar one, the feminine aspect, is the most assertive and aggressive. I say aggressive because if the moon's needs aren't met, we go kind of crazy. Lunatic has a reason for being there. Becky said, thank you so much. Yesterday, very emotional, guilt, fear. This morning, outbursts of sobbing. Attempted to figure out the source yesterday to no avail. This morning, didn't attempt. Yeah, no, that's good. Good. Becky, you don't even have to understand. You can just say, I took it on and I lost it, the source of it. So let me just feel this through and make a pact. You can literally make a pact with your mind. Don't analyze this one. Like, just let it be. It'll come. Or say, bring it to me later. I tell my emotional body, bring it to me later. And it does. Now, that's the moon today, you guys. Emotional, without cause, we're unhooked. We could be crying 1 minute, laughing the next. Just go with it. Please try your best to go with it. Now, the other thing that's big news that everybody's talking about is the Mercury retrograde. We're going to get into, we got to interpret this chart so badly. Look at this here, 4 degrees, Leo, it's in black. When Mercury's retrograde, it turns red. So there is and look at this, Pluto's in red. So Pluto is going retrograde. That's how you know retrograde planets, they're red, according to my chart anyway. So here we have Mercury now no longer going forward, but it's going to sit here at 4. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to move the chart up a day forward, 1 day. Keep an eye on Mercury. It didn't change. That's a whole day. Look, it says the 12th now. 13th, a day, nothing. Mercury on the 14th, nothing. The 15th, it went to 5. On the 16th, still at 5. The 17th, now that took 2 days. The 17th, it's at 6. Let's see if the 18th does it any faster. The 18th, it's at 7. The 19th, it's at 8. See, do you see this? The 20th, it's picking up momentum. But for right now, I want you to get that visual. This is it at 4. Tomorrow, 4. Day after, 4. You see that? I love that I can show you visually. Until the 15th, it sits here. And that is okay. That's what it does, because we're passing it, and we're passing it in such a way that it looks like it's standing still. And now it's got to start getting its momentum back, right? So it stays at 4 for a few days. We're still getting our sea legs back. I love that phrase. We're still getting adjusted to the change. And the void of course moons are not hurting the cause at all. They're giving us a chance to kind of unhook and get into strange territory. That's pretty much what it is. I'm checking on you guys periodically, so if you see me looking down, when I first started, this reminds me so much when I first started. Isn't tomorrow supposed to be a lucky day? Well, wait a minute. Today, I'm not there yet. Hold on. So tomorrow is 1-2 day, by the way, and so randomized prices over at 12listen.com. Please go try these guys out. They're amazing. I'd like to see if you actually feel the support that millions of people have felt over the 17 years that we've been in business. For randomized pricing, you make a call, private, nobody knows who you are, and you talk out anything, get some advice, do whatever you want. But the big players are there, always on the 12th. Everyone's going to be there. Okay, that's at 12listen.com. Thank you. Now, you guys, What else? Okay, so that's Mercury. So now that means that if you're a Leo or if you have any fire in your chart, you're kind of getting antsy. This is like enough cooking. We need to move. And that's the feeling. So if you're finding yourself getting edgy, like, okay, I get it, but this is why. It's like it ain't moving. It's going to move at its own pace. Just relax, occupy your mind, get something going. It's coming. Now, check this out. This is maybe what Jane was talking about, the luck that's in the air. Venus and Jupiter, look at that, 13 and 13, and it hasn't even hit exact yet. It hits exact tomorrow. So that means that what we have is this opportunity to, like, when you do things that are in line with where these signs are. So if you do things in line with the sign of Cancer, which is other than just being cute and letting everybody pinching on your face and call it, wait a minute. When you do things in the line of Cancer, which is caring about other people, being kind, taking care of the kids, the babies, taking care of your home, your security, your anxieties, when you function from that, the reward just opens up. Jupiter goes, yeah, that's the way to do it. And Jupiter in Cancer sees the big global caring. Like, are you spreading fear still? Are y'all still spreading fear? Are you seeing the good in the world? Are you trying to see the good in the world? Are you at least trying? Because you get rewarded when you do. Venus next to Jupiter is about friendship. It's about connection. It's about, imagine getting married under that. Like, what a little blessing for a union of two people saying they love each other. How about getting some forgiveness? Starting with yourself. What does that look like? You know, the ultimate meaning of forgiveness isn't some sort of grand gesture that you grant to somebody else. The real meaning, according to Mark Husson and the Course in Miracles, the real meaning of forgiveness is the reality and the recognition that nothing can harm you. And let that in. You're okay. And there's a moment when you start feeling that you look at the world around you and you start feeling grateful. You quit looking at all this crap, because we can find it. Where in this planet is there not crap happening? Dear God, we act like it's so rare. So when we find it, we're like, look, it's crap. It's the opposite. Good things are so rare that when we find them, we should cherish them. And when you can be the source of those good things, when you can be the source of the good things, the kindness, good thoughts, taking away the fear, not telling somebody they should be afraid, not telling somebody what they should and shouldn't do. When you're that source, under this transit, Jupiter and Venus love you, okay? They open the door for you. Be the voice of that, okay? That's big, and that's happening now, happens tomorrow, happens the day after. Yeah, it's definitely a good time to gamble. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. God, I am teasing. It is if it's in your chart as a gambling aspect. Maybe it will be lucky for you. But more important than gambling, I do love my slot machines. Okay, it's out. I know that. I'm afraid of endorsing it. I don't want to like encourage it. I don't, because I understand it's very addictive and get people in a lot of trouble. So I want you to take care of yourself. And Jupiter will bless me for telling you that. Now, you get blessed by thinking about where you're afraid and taking that away and giving yourself the second voice to that, like giving that Venus, Jupiter a chance to sort of give you a sense of peace. Are you always thinking about what could go wrong? Is that where we're at? I worry all the time. I'm not above it. I mean, I'm a Cancer, so naturally I have to overcome obstacles many people don't. I have to look in the mirror and appreciate. No, I'm just I just love going there. I can't help it. I have to do it in the same way, because I wake up worried every single day. That is the truth. Every single day I worry. I think it's what Cancers do. We're worry warts. But I think if you're a Virgo, if you're any kind of thinking sign, worry is a big thing. Okay. And avoidance of worry is kind of the same thing. You're still not dealing with it. so we have to sort of look at these things a little head on. So possibly start with forgiveness, like where you see that you're innocent. It's okay. Whatever you think you did that's so bad, it's okay. It's okay. Relax. And then something else, applying that same rule to something that happened to you from the outside world. It doesn't mean go fall in love with the same person who hurt you, or if some one person hurt your feelings, or if an event happened out here that hurt your feelings. You don't have to go love it. You have to remember that nothing can take you away. You have to remember that nothing can really harm the absolute essence of who you are. And we have to find a way to get there. That builds strength and allows for gratitude. And that is what's going to give you the blessing of the Jupiter Venus. That's a big one. I hope I hope I can get this into your heads, because I think this is big, and this is a time we get to practice it. Okay. We get all week. So start now. Take full advantage of it. All right. Let me check on you. Jane's pinching on my face. Ooh. Chelsea, interesting that Mercury retrograde followed Mars retrograde from last fall, winter this spring. Maybe some news related to actions. Ooh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love how you think. So Mars was in Leo retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde in Leo. And she's suggesting that the Mercury brings information from some of the events that happen. I'm sure we could make those parallels. I think more important is to use it. That's really good to do with it, Chelsea. That's brilliant, actually. But more useful for you, and not for you, but for people who might be having a hard time, is to use it for like understanding this, just the past 6 weeks. Like, where were you? Like, it's Mercury in Leo. Where were you feeling ignored? Were you feeling you weren't supportive voice to yourself? Where were you feeling, I don't know, caught? I told John, I said, I so light up. Like somebody left a random comment the other day that said something that I didn't know, that one of my videos made just a huge difference. And I was like, God, that just lights me up. And he said, yeah, it's Mercury in Leo, but it's also like, it's a time when you get to realize the part of you that underfeeds that. And it was just like, oh, and so working with that helps, very helpful. Play the lottery, kids, Jane said, just thinking about my next nap. Pam said, I had to go for a medical test today. I was nervous wreck. I had most lovely person for a technician. She made it such a breeze. It's a gift of Void of Course Moon, for real. Empowerment with Kelly's in the house. Kelly Whetstone. Hugs to you, girl. Y'all, Kelly does an article every single week in the Power Peak. They're brilliant. They're thoughtful. They're spiritual. They're deep. And that's Kelly. And she's going to be there tomorrow at the big sale at 12listen.com. Hey, Patricia. I worry all the time as a Taurus. We worry, Patricia. We do. And there's those of us that worry a lot more than others. I am shocked at how much I worry. It's just, and I remember telling John that I feel like when I see everything that I'm worried about, it is literally like my fingers in the dam trying to plug these holes in. I don't know. It feels so fragile. It feels so fragile. Like one big thing brings it all down. It's like a house of cards, that feeling. And then there's those moments when you realize none of that matters. You can have those. I don't get them enough. They often happen on my walk with the boys in the morning, because that's my commitment. I got to walk. We didn't walk today because it poured rain, like insane rain all last night. I was kind of glad I got a day off. But on my walks, I walk until I can feel it clearing, like the fog clears. And so on the long walks, like I'll come back and John goes, that was a long walk. Your head was bad. Yeah. The heavier it is, the longer I have to keep going until it sort of lifts, and then I can bring in gratitude. That's my secret weapon. I don't always want to bring in gratitude. It's like I don't want to. No, I don't want to lose this. I want to follow it. But then when I can open it and I can feel gratitude, like I can feel it, I'm like, oh, okay, we're good. We can go home. Literally almost every day. So it's not like, what you're seeing here is like what wakes up in the morning. There's a process of, it makes me laugh. There's a process of getting here. And I think it is important to love that process and to make sure we know that process and to not hate ourselves for the process. That's why I tell you all that, because I don't want people to think, God, I wish I could be happy, or I wish I could have that, laugh like the way he does, not the way, but, as much. Just know it's not always laughter and sunshine. Okay. And I'm sure you know that, but you need to hear it, and you really do need to know it. Okay. Big surprise in the chart today. It's not really a surprise, but you guys got to check this out. Okay, I'm gonna get my mouse over there. Mars is in Libra. What's that number? It's 2 degrees, right? 2. That's what we look for. Not the big number with the minute sign next to it, but the 2 degrees. And then I come over here and look, Pluto, 2 degrees. What sign? Aquarius. What sign is Mars in? Libra. What they have in common? They're air signs. Exact. But wait, folks, that's not all. Boom, boom, boom. 1 degree, which is only 1 degree away, and that matters. That's really close. In what sign? Gemini, Uranus. So we have Uranus, the planet of great change. Pluto, the planet of transformation. Yeah, is change transformation? I'll explain the difference. Transformation is outside may not look any different, but the inside may be completely rebuilt. A complete transformation. The laser beam of Pluto is what you think about. That's what Scorpios look below the surface. And they see the change. They see the transformation. It's like a new person on the inside. Uranus is like there was a building here and now it's crumbled. There's not. That's change, okay? It transformed into something different, but not true transformation, not a true rebirth. Not yet anyway. And Mars is like the missile that shoots into the building or the laser that aims towards Pluto. But it's the action, the person who pulls the laser trigger, let's say. So Mars is the action. Today it's in air, a grand trine in air. What does that mean for us? Well, for one thing, it's information, it's understanding, it's how we relate. There's a wisdom, and these are outer planets except for Mars, but there's a wisdom that's floating around that we can grab if we want it. Some of you will get it by meditation. That's an absolutely powerful way to get it. Some of you will get it by change, by moving, by doing something different, by uplifting the routine. Some of you will get it through reading. Some of you will get it through talking. But it's there for us. And because it's a trine, because it's a triangle, and I sent the newsletter out today with the chart in it that showed you the triangle. In fact, I think I have it right here. I'll bring it over. This is what I sent out to the world. If you're not on the mailing list, please get on the mailing list at 12house.com. But there it is, drawing arrows to all of them. And that energy is a smooth flow of energy. And what that means for us is that it's easy. You don't have to, it's effortless. The great gift of a grand trine is it just flows. There's a beautiful flow of information and energy. Our mind, our synapses are on. It's also communication. It's also understanding. It's compassion. It's in the air. It's in the world. It's in the universe. So that is a huge gift, and they're moving kind of slow. So that's going to be there. And what that means is because it's a grand trine, you could ignore it if you wanted to. You don't have to do anything with the grand trine. There's no push of energy. It's very easy. It's like a current, like of water, but a current of air. It's just easy. You can flow in it if you want. You could ignore it if you want. You can get lazy if you want. You can go to sleep if you want, or you could use it. And that just means if you're going to hunt down some information, if you need some information, it's going to be there for you. It also means that if you take action on something, Mars and Libra, if you take action toward a relationship, let's say to bring some balance to it or to find some truth, that it will probably transform the relationship. You have the potential to do that. So those things are fun. Having said that, let me check the room. I want to talk to you a little bit about understanding transits a little better. Okay, hang on. Let me look in the room. Melissa says, Scorpio rising, worst case scenario thinker here too. I always need plan A, B, C, and D. It's an okay thing to observe in yourself, Melissa. It's not a bad thing. It's an okay thing to observe. It's also good to note when you're in the Enneagram, they talk about sixes who think like that, and they say, notice it, just make note of it. and then see you can find the trigger that actually started the fear to get your mind working like that in the first place, and just play, like keep playing. I love seeing your posts of your pup stars, Mark. They're the sweetest faces ever. You are such an angel. You know, telling somebody their babies are adorable, but I'm telling you, these little Havanese boys are, that's why I think when I love them, the more scared I get of losing them. I think that's love, right? That's how it works here in the physical reality. The deeper you love, the more power they have over you, the more heartbreak you're going to have. And God bless them. I love them with all my heart. And I just, when I talked to Keith and Michelle about their baby bird, I was like, that thing that Betty Davis said, growing old's not for wimps, whatever she said. Taking on a love that you're going to be caring for, taking on something that you love is not for wimps. And Jane, you know that. I know how deeply you love your babies. And so it's a thing. It's a responsibility. It's a duty. And I know legitimate people, and I agree with this, who say, I don't have it in me to do it. I can't fall in love again like that. I'm never going to get another animal. That's me every time one gets close to death. This is it. This is it. And so, because the worry never goes away. And I understand that's the closest I'll ever understand to parenthood. Okay. I will never assume I know what it's like to be a mother of any kind, but that's the closest I got. And God help me, I would be horrible at it, because I don't know. I think I would tie my kids with duct tape to a table and never let them leave ever, and feed them and make them laugh, and they'd never allowed to leave. They'd have no muscles and it'd be perfect. Okay. Wisdom, Terry said. Good analogy, Terry. I love that. Becky, thank you so much. Okay, wisdom. Okay, my Mars is in Libra. You're having a Mars return, Shelley. Watch. I love Mars returns. Okay, what's the phrase? Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech on that one, and Ernest Hemingway shot himself on that one. So you have a choice. No, don't do the latter. Suzanne, Aquarius, Sun, Aries, Moon, Scorpio rising. I can analyze all day long. I need to plan things out always. Yeah. I love that you all know these things about yourself. Mars shoots the rocket into the Uranus building and it crumples. Pluto mans the machinery and digs it up, what was underneath, and finds the bones. Ooh, Lenny, that's God. Oh, that's good. I like that. Hi, Penny. Welcome. Happy Monday. Hey, Melissa. Big hugs. I grieve the charge I had for 8 years, and he's still alive. They moved away, but dang, I adored him like my own. Such a sweet little Velcro pups. You're so funny. Me too. Okay, yeah, I get it. And you know, that'll always be the case. And so having those moments when things are good, you know, having the moments when things are good and we're a little lighter and we're taking care of life and business. Like today, this moment, kind of like the Voida course, it's unhooked. There's a little levity. Those are the times to get your arsenal filled up. The arsenal of the voice in your head that counters the criticism, the hateful voice that we hurt ourselves with, the fair voice and it's not hateful to think of the worst case scenario. So it wasn't talking about that, but the people who are thinking worst case scenario, like when I do, and you guys that say you have to plan everything out and just in case everything, when you have those moments when you're doing that, but it's not as bad, that's when you fill your arsenal up with love, safety, the like taking the worst case scenario, like people are like, I'm afraid it's going to be a nuclear holocaust. Let's say that's your fear. Well, guess what? Okay, then it's over. Then you know when your end is. That's the best I can give you. Okay, if you're going to live in fear of that kind of ending, when you take it to the extreme, it's like, okay, so they blow the earth up. We're gone. That's it. It'll be over. We're all done. Okay, that ain't happening. That isn't like, since it hasn't happened, let's have plan B of living life a little happier. I think it matters that we plan in love as much as we plan in fear. Okay, so you plan the fear things like, okay, if this happens, and then you plan the in love voice. So when you're feeling when you don't have enough energy left because you thought of all the worst case scenarios, you have a closet you can open and grab a little dose of it. And I'm not like, you know me, I'm not like all the airy fairy stuff. I'm not big on like look in the mirror and say I love you, even though it's hard for my lips not to say that when I know I'm cheesy. I am so far from that, you guys. I just want you to know, in case you don't know me, that it doesn't happen. And so when Louise Hay held a mirror and said, say I love you, I couldn't. I didn't want to. I was grossed out by it. I could say the words. That don't mean anything to me. I don't want that kind of. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the love that comes from knowing that it's going to be okay. And you have to find that sometimes. And that's what we do with astrology. Now, when I talk to you about astrological planets, I want you to think of the transits as simply reflecting not what's to come, all right, but the moment, what has come. Giving you a map to where you are this minute. Not what's going down the road. This is just a map to help you interpret. Like right now, you're having a Pisces moon experience. As part of one of 10 things of types of experience you're having, but it can make things a little sensitive. It can make you know what it can also do? It can make things like these broadcasts feel a little more intimate and a little more real and a little more connected because we're more open. We may not know it. Now, if you hate that openness, you might be more closed on this Pisces moon. You might be going, this all just sounds so full of crap to me. That's your experience of the Pisces moon, and that's very valid. But you could use astrology just to give yourself an interpretation of a little reflection of where you are. And you can also toss it out. But there's a lot to be said about understanding the psychological nature of who we are through using these metaphors and these symbols. We do it all the time in life. Why not use this? Some of the greatest minds in the world do. So before you let people poo-poo it, and people will, and they should. I mean, if they don't have an experience, a good astrology breakthrough for them, not everyone's going to buy this, and it's good. It's okay. No one needs to. If you use it to help you do a better life and feel better, why do you need to convince anybody else? I mean, too much convincing worries me, right? It's sort of like when a born-again Christian, God bless all of them, and those of you that are listening, you might be, when they decide that I need to join them is when the problem is, not that they're just happy with what they found in their own joy, okay? And so that's what I want you to use as a metaphor for everything you believe, including politics and including TV shows you like. Okay, like if somebody doesn't like it, it doesn't say anything about them. And if you need them to, it says a lot about you. So give up some of that a little bit, like start seeing that it's okay for you to love where you're at and love this. And it doesn't have to mean anything. I really can't tell you how much I underestimate and shouldn't the word confirmation bias. That stuff is so daggone powerful. If you believe something and you already believe it to be true, you're going to only see that get verified and everywhere you look. It's big. And I don't think we understand just how deep confirmation bias is. If you believe that men are jerks, then every nice man, everything a nice guy does to you, it goes unnoticed. That's just the exception to your already established rule. If you believe cats are bad luck and you happen to fall in love with a kitty or see a kitty that's really nice to you, that's just a one-off. And we do it about life. We ignore. We literally don't hear all the proof that we have that counters what we already believe. So it's really important to know what you believe already. What you already believe, regardless, you're absolutely convinced it's the truth, you still believe it. Okay, and there probably is another side to what you believe, but we're so convinced it's the truth, and we invest so much time into it that it's painful we can never lose here. I mean, it ties so much in. That's why the gaming world for me, like there's a thing called the sunken loss theory, where you invest in a slot machine and you've put so much money into it that there's a part of you that goes, it's going to hit, it has to. at some point because I've invested all this time. I'm going to get my resources back instead of just going, you lost. You made a bad choice. Let's move on. Same with confirmation bias. You kind of like hold something so dear and you get so invested in it that you don't want to lose. And sometimes it's just good to blow it up. And I'll let you all come to your own terms with that. But sometimes it's good just to let it go, to see how invested you are. And there's no scorecard at the end of the day for it. Like when you're going to buy a new car and you've already chosen that car, that's where you see it everywhere. It's not just magically showing up because you're going to buy it. You're now only validating that car when you see it, where you used to ignore it. That's confirmation bias. I'll be talking a lot about that because I believe it's kind of like the heart and soul in astrology. Mercury retrograde, hint, hint. Okay? You expect it to be crap. And guess what? And I know there's so much investment and so much commitment in those kind of thinkings. The void of course moon for me is a hard one, but I mean, I'm surprised that I was able to kind of even admit good things are happening under it. And so imagine living a life where you're taking the symbols and not seeing them as harbingers of fear and pain and horrible events to come. Imagine just seeing the symbols as a reflection of what is right now. You already know it. You're already doing it. So it's a big one. I think about it a lot. I think about how deeply we want to have our thoughts validated, how deeply we want to have them validated. So when we take a commitment and a stand against something, man, we want that validated. And it's intense. And it works really well with the planets. I bet you have signs that you just hate. I bet you have signs you're just like, ugh. And then every time you meet that sign, it just you're going to confirm it. How we doing? Okay, let me check on you guys. Okay, I know I was pretty verbose today. It's a grand trine in air, right? Okay. Hi, Shelly from Evergreen. Wait a minute. Yeah, you're in Evergreen. Good. You get to enjoy the same weather we're having. It's cool, isn't it? We had you guys, 2 days over 90 here in Larkspur. We didn't have any kind of summer. It was, I'm so grateful. Even though I did have an air conditioner set up, ready to go, ready to take care of the boys. Didn't need it. Okay, check on you guys. Hold on one sec. I over prepare like there's no tomorrow. I have everything in my purse or car. Yeah, Karen, Virgo too, Karen. That doesn't help. That doesn't hurt. Okay. Gaming teaches you how to let go. Wonderful practice. I was just about to write that car analogy. I love that. That's so good. Okay. So that's so perfect, Jane. Yeah. That thing where you see it everywhere once you decide to buy it. So you guys just check in on it. It's a Pisces moon today. So the metaphor, Pisces is about the dream world. It's about seeing what's out here. Now imagine, here's one more tip. Imagine living your life as if it was a dream. And you, like when I was taught in college, the Gestalt therapy technique was to take every aspect of a dream and be it, right? So one of my first clients was a woman who wanted to leave her husband. And I didn't know how to help, but she came in with a dream. I was young too. You know, it's very intimidating when you have somebody, what was I, 25? And she's married for 7 years and she wants to leave. She has this dream. And she said she had a dream that she picked up a pencil and did this writing, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, in the dream, I had her think she was the pencil. Like, what is the pencil? What? Because this pencil meant something to her. I said, now be the pencil. Talk. And she said, I'm a pencil. I'm only creative in the hands of somebody else. Let me tell you, it was so revealing. Just that alone. She literally, like, I saw the light bulb go off. And she ended up making a decision about her life that I got blamed for, but it was okay. Like her husband wasn't really happy, but I didn't say, I just gave her the analogy to work with. When you do that in life, when you have an event, you meet somebody in a grocery store, they yell at you, you have a fight, somebody honks at you, gives you the bird, a bad moment, let's say, for example. If you go and interpret it as if you're in a dream and you are that person, you're the person, and you speak from that person, it can blow you away because you're speaking as a part of yourself. Like, imagine you're that person, you're going, you're an idiot, you can't drive. And you're hearing, oh my God, that's the voice I'm giving to myself. Under a Pisces moon, so we have a whole day, using any moment, any exchange, any object that came to your mind as a thing to become and speak from, as if it's a part of you. Because basically, isn't that what's happening? Isn't what's the idea? Projection is all there is. Like, projection is perception. That's the phrase. Projection is, okay, get out of here. Scare everybody. Hold on just a minute. There we go. Projection is perception. So you're projecting these things into the world. And so if you become the thing and talk back, you get to kind of see the projection. Like, because it's like you're talking as if you're the camera. And what would the camera say? Well, it's going to say whatever you've projected on it, but that's a way for you to see it. So it's a good way to distance yourself, especially under a Pisces moon. It's a good way to see maybe where you've been attacking yourself, if you've been feeling a little heavier than normal, or you have that niggling worry in the back of your head that you can't quite shake. Sometimes that's a good way to find out where it came from. So all day today is a void of course moon. Look at my little cheat sheet. All day today is a void of course moon. Mercury went direct. The void of course moon ends at 3:33 in the morning tomorrow Pacific time, and it's 1-2 day at 12listen.com. Please visit 12listen.com. Support the crew. That's how they make their money. It's the only way. And then we have it again. The moon in Aries is void of course from 4 o'clock on Wednesday Pacific time. Make a note, until Thursday at 8 in the morning Pacific time. Now, that's all at powerpeak.com, markspowerpeak.com, or markhusson.com. The password is 12DAY, 12 day, because we love 12 day. It only comes once a month. It's the 12th of every day. The computers randomize all the pricing on the calls, and you get to go get the support you might need. I'm going to check on you and say goodbye, but thank you guys so much for being a part of me. Thank you, Lenny. You're so kind. Yeah, we do like our validations. There's no question about it. Thank you, Anne, so much. Listen, you guys, I do my moments, Mark Husson Astrology moments. Share them with somebody. We're trying to use that as a catapult. I'm not going to miss a day. There's going to be one. Some are going to be silly. Some are going to be light. Some maybe just me talking. God help me. But everyone is doing them. Serena does them. Lenny does them. Terry does them. And I'm begging them to keep making it known. Eventually, I'm going to get a place where you can link. But if you subscribe to those, it's not like it's the same thing as subscribing to an email. You don't get inundated. It means that if you go to YouTube, it will show you your subscriptions, but you're not going to get knocked. But there is a bell. You can be notified if you click subscribe, hold, and wait for the bell. You can be notified if you don't want to miss any of them. They're short, they're sweet, they're intelligent. I know Sahar has one. I know I'm going to miss a lot of them, but everyone's doing them at the 1-2 family. And I'm going to try to get them all rounded up together. Peggy does them every Sunday. So see if you can support by sharing them. Do whatever necessary. I think of you every time I do them. I think of you all the time anyway. Thank you so much for being a part of what I'm doing today. Kat is up next. Kat's going online. She's been doing them on YouTube. And then she's followed by Lori Love and then Serena after that. And then you know the lineup tomorrow probably with CA and Kelly and Katie. And Peggy, Peggy will be back on Tuesdays eventually. All right, I'll shut up. Thank you guys so much for being a part of me. Much love. Bye.